I had a minor emotional breakdown in the middle of the grocery store yesterday. And honestly, I'm not even ashamed to admit it. There I was, standing in the produce aisle, holding a organic spaghetti squash that cost $7, staring at a recipe on my phone that required 3 different types of fresh herbs, a food processor, and 45 minutes of prep time. And I just looked at this stupid squash and thought, who am I kidding? Who is this woman I am pretending to be? I work 40 hours a week. I have a toddler who thinks shoes are optional, and a teenager who communicates entirely in grunts. My house currently smells like wet dog and unresolved existential dread. I don't have 45 minutes to roast a squash, let alone wash a food processor afterward. So, you know what I did? I put the squash down. I walked right past the organic kale, right past the artisanal cheese section, and I marched straight into the frozen food and pre-made deli department. And today, I want to talk about why that was the smartest thing I've done all week, and why you need to start doing the exact same thing if you want to keep your sanity intact. We need to talk about the massive lie we've all been sold. This ridiculous cultural myth that to be a good mom, a good partner, or just a functioning, successful adult woman, you have to cook everything from scratch. If it didn't involve chopping raw vegetables until your wrists hurt, and standing over a hot stove while your feet throb, it doesn't count as a real meal, right? Wrong. That is absolute garbage, and it's destroying our mental health. Let's change the rules of the game today. From now on, we are not cooking, we are assembling. We are going to let the grocery store do 90% of the heavy lifting for us. Because guess what? Someone else already washed it. Someone else already chopped it. Someone else already cooked it and packaged it. And using that to your advantage isn't lazy. It's called being an efficient project manager of your life. Think about the rotisserie chicken. It is the absolute mascot of working mom's survival. It costs less than a raw chicken. It's already perfectly seasoned, and it's sitting there under a heat lamp, just waiting to save your life. When you buy a rotisserie chicken, you aren't just buying dinner for tonight. You are buying a baseline component for 3 different meals. Tonight, you just carve off the breasts, serve them with some microwavable steam in a bag green beans, and some store-bought mashed potatoes that you literally just heat up in 2 minutes. Boom! Dinner is done. It took you 5 minutes, and it's actual, real food. But don't throw the rest of that chicken away. Tomorrow, while you're rushing around trying to pack lunches, you shred the leftover dark meat, toss it with some barbecue sauce from a bottle, put it inside some pre-sliced brioche buns, and suddenly you have pulled chicken sliders. Kids go wild for it. Your partner thinks you're a culinary genius. And you spent a grand total of maybe 4 minutes assembling it. And speaking of shortcuts, let's talk about the freezer aisle, because it has been unfairly demonized for decades. I used to feel so much guilt buying frozen meals or frozen components, like I was giving up on my family. But then I realized that frozen vegetables are frozen at peak freshness. They have just as many nutrients as those sad, slimy spinach leaves sitting in the bottom of my fridge drawer that I bought with good intentions and forgot about for a week. The freezer is your best friend. For example, next time you are at the store, Grab a couple of bags of frozen cheese tortellini or ravioli. When you get home and everyone is screaming that they are starving, you don't even have to wait for a giant pot of water to boil. Just throw those frozen tortellini directly into a baking dish. Pour a jar of Alfredo sauce over them. Throw in a handful of frozen broccoli florets. And top it with some shredded Parmesan. Bake it for 20 minutes. It tastes like something you would order at a casual Italian restaurant for $40. But it cost you $10 and required zero knife skills. The pasta cooks right in the sauce. The broccoli steams perfectly. And you didn't have to watch a pot boil like a hawk while trying to break up a fight over who gets to use the iPad. Another area where we need to stop overthinking is the bakery and deli counter. Stop passing it by because you think it's cheating. Let's say it's Thursday. Thursday is historically the worst day of the week. You're exhausted. The weekend is so close, but so far, and your brain is completely fried. Walk into the store and buy a loaf of fresh, pre-sliced French bread or bakery focaccia. Go to the deli and get some pre-cooked bacon and sliced turkey. When you get home, you're making the ultimate gourmet baked sandwiches. Slice the bread loaf horizontally. Slather it with some store-bought pesto or mayo. Layer the turkey, bacon, and some provolone cheese. Wrap the whole giant loaf in foil and stick it in the oven for 15 minutes just to melt the cheese and get the bread crispy. Cut it into thick slices. You've just made a hot, comforting, pub-style dinner. That feels like a treat, but it took less effort than making a bowl of cereal. We have to start asking ourselves one simple question every time we look at a product in the store. How many steps is this saving me? If the answer is 3 or 4 steps, buy it. Buy the pre-chopped onions, even if they cost $1 more. Buy the pre-washed lettuce. Buy the jarred garlic instead of peeling. Those tiny cloves until your fingernails smell like garlic for 3 days. You are not wasting money. You are buying back your time. And right now, your time and your peace of mind are the most valuable commodities in your household. A stressed out, resentful mom who spent an hour making an organic, hand-rolled meatball dinner is not better for the kids than a relaxed, happy mom who served frozen fish tacos assembled in 5 minutes. Kids don't remember the exact ingredients of their childhood dinners. They remember the vibe in the kitchen. They remember if their mom was laughing, or if she was snapping at everyone because she was at a breaking point. So, give yourself permission to take the easy way out. The grocery store is full of cheats, hacks, and shortcuts that are just waiting to give you your evening back. Pick up the rotisserie chicken, grab the frozen pasta, buy the pre-cut veggies, and go sit down on the couch. You've earned it. Your family will be fed, and the world will keep turning.